All right, YouTube friends, welcome back. I know the sound of this video is going to be terrible. I'm doing this on my phone, but I have to do this quickly, and this is too good not to make a YouTube video about. I've been making more and more TikTok videos because they're just easy to make and easy to upload, but this is too good not to make a video about. All right, so we're just going to set that aside for a moment, and we're going to open up this. I would personally give you $200 for this case. In the condition that it's in, right? Like, this is just an aside. It's not what this video is about. We're in my garage, by the way, because I'm in the middle of another actual video that I'm filming. That's going to be pretty fun. But I need to upload this. Okay, so here we go. So this case is like, oh my God. I look at this case and I think, oh, something special is going to be inside this case. Because I would legitimately give you about $200 for this case because it looks terrific exactly the way it is. I wouldn't do anything to it. Just leave it exactly the way it is. I love the way it looks. I love that half of the fender logo is missing. Like, it's just, I love it. Then you look inside, it's like, oh my God, look at that color. Like, yeah, I would give you money for this case. You can see the old, probably G&G logo is probably missing from there. Like, dudeski. Then we get to this guitar. I'm like, whoa, that pickguard is ugly as sin, but that's forgivable, right? We get onto this neck. It's like, oh, wow, wait a second. Okay, so keep your eyes on this, because I've seen this before. I've seen this sort of grain pattern on the front of the neck before. Like, I've seen that before. That looks familiar right away. Oh, wait a sec. Then it changes colors. And then I see that, and I'm like, oh. Then I see that, and I say, ooh. And then I hold it. And then I hold it like this, and I go, ooh, that feels familiar. That really feels like silly familiar. That really thin V profile, that's crazy thin. That's a crazy thin neck. Wow, that feels crazy familiar, this neck. Let's look at the heel. Okay. Oh, stop. There's more amber lacquer there. Now, ignore the tuners, because those were added later by Richard. But then I see that, and I'm like, oh, is that new? Like, 2019, did they change? Didn't it used to be... Didn't Japanese... Wait a second. I mean, I haven't held a lot of these Japanese guitars, but... I mean, I don't know. Does that look real to you? Does any of that look real to you? Or like it's in order? So this is in every way a Scamcaster. Right? Like, this is... I don't even want to open it up. But apparently these are Seymour Duncan pickups. I don't know, maybe they are. I don't even want to know what's in here. I really don't. I feel like this is just a waste of time. Right? Like, this is... Who knows what this is? Okay, so what I have found so far is that comes through in a weird place. I don't think I ever remember seeing the ground come through like that. I don't know. Does that claw look right to you? No, none of this really looks familiar to me. And I have to admit, I haven't seen a lot of Japanese Strats, but the authenticity of this being a Japanese Strat is highly in question at the moment. So let's just assume that it probably isn't. All right, so what do we have behind door number 1? We have an authentic Seymour Duncan pickup. Yes, we do, sir. We have some, are those CTS pots? What are they? It's hard to tell. They're definitely full size. This looks like it was taken from maybe, I don't know, maybe a Mexican guitar? I don't know, it's hard to tell. But these do not fit these. This is obviously aftermarket. That is obviously either Mexican or off of a Squire for sure. So maybe this body and this neck were born together. Let's see. Let's see what's behind door number 2. Let's see what's behind door. Okay, well that doesn't tell me anything. Oh, that's what this is. Is it a Mighty Might neck? Okay, so it's not garbage, but it's not a Japanese guitar. Is it Japanese spec though? Okay, well it's not what it says it is. So without having any idea what model, I guess I would have to get onto Mighty Might's website and try to work out what this is. So it's not, that's definitely like 4 or 5 millimeter truss rod. I have to grab something and see what it is. But obviously these string trees are aftermarket. That logo is clearly aftermarket. Somebody got cute and sprayed a little bit of lacquer on it. And I guess if you're gonna fake a guitar, you would fake one that not a lot of people have a lot of experience looking at, right? Not even me, really. I mean, if you'd done a few more things right, you might catch me out with this, I guess. But I called this as fake right away. And, well, there's your proof right there. It is in fact fake. Or rather, not what it claims to be. So I wonder if this is like, I don't know, maybe a Mighty Might body, or I don't know if they make bodies. I don't know who the hell makes bodies. That's clearly not a Fender body of any sort. But we've now traded what was definitely worth $1,100 for this. Raise your hands if you think this is worth $1,100. Oh, but it continues to get better, friends. I mean, this was attached to a body, and I looked at it and I was like, oh my god, dude, that is so fake. Come on. Who are you trying to kid with this? This is not legitimate. This is definitely, in every way, a chips in of some sort. And obviously, purposely faked. This was part of a guitar. That is clearly fake. That's usually a dead giveaway when you see one of these logos. That's so thick. This is not real. Every US standard American guitar I've seen, unless it's, I don't know, some sort of special run, has a metal plate there for heel adjustment. No, my friend. This is Shambolics Scamcaster Extraordinaire. Both of these. So, if somebody is experienced, all right, and you OG gang who are watching this video will know who Richard is. If somebody who's seen and touched as many guitars as he has can get caught out twice in just as many weeks on a couple of trades, don't you think you easily could? I mean, I saw this stuff and I was like, I called Shambolics right away. When I saw this, I was like, oh, that's all the way fake, dude. That looks like a Squire neck. It feels like a Squire neck. And I was convinced it was a Squire neck. until we discovered it was a Mighty Mite neck of some sort. And this is just all the way out of some Chinese factory that's, you know, where they make chipsons. So I apologize for the sound on this video, but welcome back to YouTube, folks. There is a real project going on, and I'm coming back with all the wonderful content you are used to and love and know me for and have come to expect. And just pay attention to the comments in this video, folks. Everyone leaving hate comments is the kind of jerk that's going to do this to you. It's one thing if you do this to your own guitar for funsies. You know, I've done this to plenty of guitars. But I've never sold in a guitar to somebody and told them it's something it's not. Right? That's the key difference. And we know assholes exist. And for the most part, I don't really do this stuff anymore. And when I was learning to do this stuff, it was really more so that, you know, if I had a high dollar guitar, I'd be able to repair it. So along the way, I had some fun, but largely I don't do this anymore. And not because I'm morally opposed to it in any way. I am clearly very morally opposed to you selling and telling somebody that something is what it's not and tricking them out of money. I think that's a dickhead move. But, you know, it's getting harder and harder to tell. There are so many different kinds of models of Fender. There are so many special runs. They're like, I haven't held very many Japanese guitars. I've held hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of Fender guitars, from every different kind of Squire to every different American kind of guitar. But I've held very few Japanese guitars. Outside of knowing that, generally speaking, the ones that I've seen have the serial number and the made in Japan generally on the heel. Those are the ones I've seen. I don't know if they've changed. Maybe they have. I don't pretend to keep up with all this stuff, but that immediately looked fake to me. And again, forget these tuners, because this is something Richard put on after the fact. It had just regular Fender tuners. Right, but that immediately looks fake to me. It's like, ugh, I've seen that. And then I look at this and I go, this just doesn't fit this kind of guitar. The placement is wrong. You know what I mean? Like, these string trees are weird. For any kind of US guitar, that would definitely not be the, oh, this isn't US. Sorry. But I don't think that that's the truss rod size key for a Japanese guitar. I can't remember. But there you go. It's a Mighty Mite neck with, like, I don't know what that is, 4 millimeter, 4.5 millimeter. But none of this looked right. Right? Like, that's just all looked fake from the get-go. And then this thing, which is definitely, you know, a more organized effort to deceive you. Even though these things are sold as whole guitars for, you know, $200 or $300 on these Alibaba type websites. But this whole thing looks fake, right? Like, every bit of this looks fake, and that does not look like the right size truss rod key either. Like, the second I looked at that, I was like, oh dude, that's fake. Look at that, it's way too thick. The placement of this is way off, and that just doesn't look right. US guitars now don't really look like this. It doesn't line up with the date that they're trying to pretend that it is. As soon as you see this kind of nonsense, you know immediately it's fake, right? But then, oh, it's definitely fake. And that's the trouble with Fender guitars, is that they're too easy to fake, and it's too easy to make a good one out of a cheap one. Which is why I don't think Fender guitars are worth the money, like especially American guitars are worth the money that they're asking for them. I just don't think they are. It's not nearly as easy to replicate a good Les Paul. Right? It's really difficult. You couldn't just turn an Epiphone into a good Gibson Les Paul. You can't do that. But I can turn a good Squire into a pretty good Strat. And that's what happens too often. And then people trade guitars that you would never fake, like an Airline that's worth $1,100 for something like this, because it's got, you know, period correct case and Who knows? Maybe this is what a Japanese guitar looks like. Like, if you're gonna fake a guitar, that's a good strategy. But there's just too many clues that it's not right. And of course, when we take it apart, we figure out, of course, it's not right. So there's not $1,100 worth of guitar here. Not even in parts. I mean, I don't know what Mighty Mite necks are worth, but get the fuck out of here. I don't know what kind of pots those are. I know that that's definitely a Seymour Duncan pickup. I know that that's either Mexican or Squire or some other no-name bullshit. Probably more along the lines of Mexican. I mean, I don't know. I don't know about any of this bullshit. Maybe it's real, maybe it's not. But this is definitely not a Fender body. It's one piece. It might be a good body. Like, it might be a good... But we don't know what it is. And I can't turn around and sell, I don't know what it is. So its value is not what it was, you know, it's not what it was, what it was presented as. And as far as I'm concerned, it's just like, go fuck yourself with all this garbage. Right? Like, go find this guy and tell him to take back his garbage. But guess what? He's disappeared. He's not answering his phone. He's ghosted. Right? So this is why never do deals unless you go to the person's house. Don't do deals in public for guitars. I don't care what anybody tells you. That's nonsense. Go to somebody's house. If they come to your house, take a picture of their car, take a picture of their license plate. If they refuse you that, send them on the way out the door. There's a reason they're refusing that. Never meet somebody in public to do a guitar deal. Never, ever. It's way safer to do it at your house. I've been doing this for 10 years. Nobody's going to come and commit a crime at your house. And nobody's going to come and let you commit a crime at their house. Right? Like, they're not going to commit a crime at their own house. So best place to do a guitar deal is at somebody's house or at your own house. The end. That way you have some recourse. You can go undo this. Like, if I went and met at this guy's house, I could undo this. If I took a picture of his license plate, you know, I might stand a chance of calling the cops. Or if I had his picture of his face, I might be able to call this guy out on social media. Like, there's a number of things you can do to protect yourself from this kind of garbage. Right? Like, get their social media details. Don't do deals with people you think are shady. The end.